I was sitting in my office, sipping my usual morning coffee, when her message popped up on my phone. I want a divorce. All communication through my lawyer from now on. That was it. No explanation, no apology, not even a hint of sadness. Just cold, dry words from the woman I had spent the last 8 years building a life with. For a moment, I just stared at the screen, feeling like someone had punched me in the chest. But then, something inside me went quiet. If she wanted to treat me like a stranger, fine. I simply replied, okay. I put my phone down, feeling an emptiness I couldn't describe. But as I sat there, thinking about everything I'd done for her, a wave of anger and hurt washed over me. I wasn't going to beg her to stay. I wasn't going to fight her decision. Instead, I calmly logged into my banking app and started making changes. Within minutes, I had cut off her credit cards. I froze her access to the joint account and canceled every auto payment linked to her. She wanted a lawyer to handle everything? Then let her lawyer explain why her cards were getting declined while she was out shopping or why she couldn't order her favorite takeout for dinner. For 3 days, I didn't hear a single word from her. I went about my work, trying to bury my feelings under spreadsheets and meetings. But exactly 72 hours later, my phone started ringing nonstop. It was her lawyer, calling again and again with urgent messages. That's when I realized something must have gone terribly wrong on her side, and whatever it was, I was about to find out. I didn't answer her lawyer's calls right away. I let the phone ring as I sat there, thinking about everything that had brought us to this point. Just a week ago, I thought my marriage was okay. We had our usual arguments about small things, dishes in the sink, her shopping habits, me working late, but nothing that felt serious enough to end it all. Or maybe I was just blind to it. Maybe I didn't see the way she had stopped looking at me with love, or how her smile faded whenever I walked into the room. The lawyer called again, and this time I let it go to voicemail. His voice sounded tight with stress as he said, "Mr. Harris, please call me back as soon as possible. It's urgent regarding your wife's financial situation." I could almost imagine her sitting in his office, tears in her eyes, asking him what went wrong. Part of me felt bad. I never wanted to see her struggle like this. But another part of me, the part that remembered all the nights I waited for her to come home without any explanation, felt satisfied. As I sat at my desk, I thought back to last month when I found a receipt in her purse for a fancy restaurant I'd never been to. She told me she went there with her friends, but something about the way she avoided eye contact stuck with me. And now, here she was, cutting me off with a cold message, as if I was the villain in her story. My heart was pounding as I listened to the lawyer's voicemail again. What could be so urgent that he was calling me over and over? Whatever it was, I had a feeling this was only the beginning. I finally decided to call the lawyer back later that afternoon. As soon as he picked up, I could hear the frustration in his voice. "Mr. Harris, your wife has been unable to access any of her funds for the past 3 days. She's stuck at a hotel right now and can't pay her bill. This is causing her a lot of distress. We need to resolve this immediately." I stayed silent for a few seconds, letting his words sink in. She was at a hotel? Why wasn't she at home? Then it hit me, she must have left the house thinking I'd keep paying for her lifestyle, while she moved out and did whatever she wanted. A bitter laugh escaped my lips before I could stop it. The lawyer continued, "She's also missed 2 important payments for her car lease. If this continues, it could impact her credit score badly. Please, can we arrange for temporary funds while we finalize the divorce terms?" I didn't reply right away. My mind was running through everything: her cold message, the receipt from that restaurant, her sudden decision to end our marriage like I was nothing. I wondered if she had someone else. Maybe that's why she was so confident sending me that message, thinking she had another man to fall back on. The thought burned deep in my chest. Then another memory came back. Last winter, when I got sick with the flu, she barely spoke to me. She just left a bowl of soup on my bedside table and went out shopping all day. At that time, I brushed it off, thinking she was just busy. But now, looking back, I realized she had been emotionally gone for months. As the lawyer waited for my response, I knew one thing: I wasn't done with this. Not yet. I took a deep breath and finally spoke. I understand what you're saying, but she made it clear she doesn't want to talk to me. She wanted everything to go through you, so here we are. The lawyer sighed heavily, like he was tired of being caught between us. Mr. Harris, please. She's in a very difficult situation. She can't even afford to get a taxi home from the hotel. Isn't there any way you can temporarily lift the restrictions until we sort this out legally? For a moment, I almost felt pity for her. Almost. But then I thought about all those nights she came home late without any explanation, her phone always on silent, her eyes avoiding mine. I remembered how she'd get irritated when I asked her simple questions, as if I was just some annoying stranger in her house. And now she was sitting in a hotel lobby, probably embarrassed that her card kept getting declined, wondering how this all flipped so fast. I leaned back in my chair, staring out the window as the sun dipped behind the city buildings. Look, I said calmly. She wanted to handle everything formally. She wanted her lawyer to talk to me instead of speaking like two adults. So let's do that. File the paperwork and let's see what she really wants. There was a pause. Then he said quietly, She's not the only one affected by this, you know. There are other things that will come out in the process. Things that might change how you see all of this. My heart skipped a beat. What was he talking about? I clenched my jaw as a cold feeling spread through my chest. Something told me that whatever he meant, it was about to change everything I thought I knew about her, and about this entire divorce. I tightened my grip on the phone as his words sank in. What do you mean by other things? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The lawyer hesitated for a moment before saying, Mr. Harris, there's something your wife wanted to keep private, but given the financial restrictions now, she can't. She's pregnant. For a second, I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was caving in. Pregnant? I swallowed hard, trying to process what he just said. My mind was spinning with questions. Was it mine? Was that why she suddenly wanted a divorce? To start over with someone else without dealing with me? I felt anger boil inside me, mixed with a deep sadness that I couldn't even describe. The lawyer continued. She didn't want to tell you like this. But with her cards frozen, she can't even pay for her doctor appointments. I didn't say anything. My thoughts were racing back to the last time we were close. It had been months. Too many months. A sick feeling spread through my stomach as reality hit me. If she was pregnant now, it probably wasn't mine. That explains so much: her sudden coldness, her decision to end things without a fight, her confidence that she could survive on her own. She had someone else backing her up. The lawyer's voice broke my thoughts. Mr. Harris, for the sake of the baby, can we please arrange temporary funds until this is sorted out legally? I sat there in silence, staring at the floor, my chest tight with anger and betrayal. Pregnant. Another man's child. And she wanted me to pay for her comfort while she carried it. I took a shaky breath. This wasn't just about divorce anymore. This was war, and she had no idea what was coming next. I closed my eyes for a moment, feeling my pulse thudding in my ears. Everything suddenly felt clear. She had moved out thinking she was stepping into a new life with someone else, while I'd quietly keep paying her bills like a fool. But this baby, this was the final truth that tore away any last bit of love I still held for her. I took a deep breath and said, Tell her I wish her well. But I'm not sending a single dollar until the paternity test is done. There was silence on the other end before the lawyer spoke again, sounding defeated. I understand. I'll inform her. After the call ended, I sat there for a long time, staring at my wedding photo on the shelf. Her bright smile felt like a cruel joke now. My phone buzzed later that evening. It was an unknown number. I answered, and for the first time in days I heard her voice. It was shaky, almost pleading. Please, can we just talk? Not through lawyers, just us. I felt something twist in my chest hearing her like that. But before I could respond, she blurted out, "It's yours. The baby, it's yours. I didn't want to tell you because I was diagnosed with a high-risk condition. The doctor said I might not make it through the pregnancy, and I didn't want to ruin your life if something happened to me." My mouth went dry. All the anger and betrayal I felt suddenly tangled with guilt and confusion. She continued softly, "I thought cutting you off would make it easier for you to move on, in case I didn't survive." For a moment, I couldn't even breathe. Everything I thought I knew about her, about the divorce, about this baby, flipped in a single heartbeat. And now, I didn't know what to feel anymore. I sat there in silence, holding the phone to my ear as her words echoed inside me. For days I had been thinking the worst of her. I thought she was cruel, heartless, cheating on me, carrying another man's child. But here she was, crying softly, telling me she was trying to protect me from the pain she was going through. I didn't even realize tears were falling down my own face until one dropped onto my hand. "Why didn't you just tell me the truth?" I whispered, my voice shaking. She sniffled and said, "Because I know you. You'd drop everything for me. You'd spend every second worrying, losing sleep, canceling meetings, putting your life on hold for me. I didn't want that. I wanted you to keep living, keep moving forward in case I couldn't." Her voice broke at the end. I closed my eyes, feeling every ounce of anger in me dissolve into sadness. All those cold replies, the blocked cards, the ignored calls, they felt so pointless now. "Where are you?" I asked quietly. "At the hotel," she said, her voice almost a whisper. "I didn't know who else to call. I'm scared." Within 30 minutes I was there. When I walked into the hotel lobby and saw her sitting on a couch, hugging her knees with tears in her eyes, something inside me cracked wide open. She looked up at me, her face pale and tired, and I could see how scared she really was. Without thinking, I sat down beside her and pulled her into my arms. She started sobbing against my chest, her body shaking. "I'm so sorry," she cried. "I thought I was doing the right thing." I rested my chin on her head, feeling her warmth, her pain, her fear. "We'll get through this," I whispered. "Together." For the first time in days, I felt the tightness in my chest loosen. Life wasn't going to be easy. We still had to figure out the divorce, her health, and our future. But in that moment, nothing else mattered except her trembling in my arms and the tiny heartbeat growing inside her. Sometimes, love isn't about holding on. Sometimes it's about being there when the other person has lost all their strength to stand. And that's exactly where I knew I needed to be.